come undisputed and things like that. But once he got it, he like basically like what the hell. And that's you can see with Floyd too. Floyd really was like that too. He really like
1, 2, 3. Good stuff.
Ron, real quick.
Those are lifetime losses. And you know, as long as you know you went out there and gave it 100% in that square circle. If you know you gave it 100% and you happy with what you did when you went out there, then that's what it is.
Come unspirit and things like that. But once you got it, you like basically like what the hell? And that's you can see with Floyd too. He really like that too. He really like Tank Davis and Roach are gearing up for their lightweight title match on March 1st. But they had the most unexpected guests invade them during their media duties. 1, 2, 3 good stuff quick ahead of their fight. The pair and their teams met to do some media and promotional work for the fight, and shockingly an unwanted guest, Floyd Mayweather, showed up and disrupted the meeting. Tank Davis, on the other hand, was fully ready for the confrontation, and a brawl broke out between the music pair while those around did their best to break them up. The pair were able to lay hands on each other, with Floyd having the last laugh after attacking Davis with a shove. It was the first time the pair have come face-to-face since their fight last April. It all began when Floyd Mayweather went on an interview with Fight Hype and scolded boxers who were so much after luxuries that they weren't paying attention to their skills. It got so bad at the Floyd Mayweather involved Shakur Stevenson lied about Gervonta Davis's fight and ridiculed the Baltimore champion. Those are lifetime losses, and you know them as long you went out there and gave it 100% in that square circle. If you know you gave it 100% and you're happy with what you did when you went out there, then that's what it is. It is the worst of all was how Floyd Mayweather did not only pick sides against Davis in his last fight, but also acted in a manner that was unlikely of a boxing legend. He was so after Gervonta Davis's loss that he felt his Instagram post about the fight being cancelled wasn't enough. He also predicted a fight that was clearly an easy win for Gervonta Davis as a 50-50 and gave Frank Martin some tips to help him defeat Tank Music Davis. This time, his feud with Gervonta Davis got so much into his head that he had secretly called Gervonta Davis's opponent, Frank Martin, and given him tips on how to beat Tank Davis, whether it fell on deaf ears or whether Floyd's instructions weren't just enough. We don't know. However, on fight night, Frank Martin, who seemed to put on a great show in the early rounds, fell short after 1 minute and 49 seconds in the 8th round. A devastating blow from Gervonta Davis took him flat on the canvas, earning Gervonta Davis the 30th win of his career. But that wasn't even where the problem was. The real issue was the involvement of Floyd Mayweather, who had clearly been at loggerheads with DV Davis, having one of the most epic mentor versus predict feuds in recent history. Frank Martin revealed in one of his many pre-fight interviews that Floyd Mayweather had helped in some way ahead of the fight, hoping to get back at Gervonta Davis for being disrespectful to him, to embrace guys. So what was being around talking to Floyd like what Floyd taught you about fighting? And has it made you a better? Because he could tell me all day to do that. __. He does it came as a surprise to boxing fans and professionals when the Ghost Martin revealed he has been receiving advice from Gervonta Davis's former mentor and promoter Floyd Mayweather. The lightweight duo locked horns in the ring at MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas on June 15th, with Tank Davis retaining his World Boxing Association title. I couldn't do it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you? He tell you go run it too. In the morning, go do it when cuz, and as expected, there was quite the trash talk brewing between the two still going into the fight. Tank Davis was a heavy favorite, however, while appearing in the Pivot podcast shared on YouTube before the fight, the challenger Frank Martin revealed the Mike Tyson-esque advice Money Mayweather had been giving him to get the upper hand during his Gervonta Davis fight. Thing has always been there for him from day one, and we had a game plan, and the game plan was to help him become world champion. Frank Martin admits advice from Floyd Mayweather gives him a unique feeling. As a result of this, Floyd Mayweather has now lashed out at those coming for his head. I do what I want to do and support whoever I feel has their crime in that. What's wrong with Frank meeting me for advice? If Tank comes, I'd advise him to. So what's the problem y'all have with me? Mayweather had been in Davis' corner despite their split and the various differences between them over the years, and for the most part, Davis has always respected the former world champion. However, with the Davis-Martin fight alliances, surely did change, help him become world champion and take them to that next level, and I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great, especially since the much publicized online tussle between Tank and Mayweather last month. So when asked about whether there's anything Martin had learned from Floyd Mayweather before the fight, Martin had this to say. He could tell you, man, go run at 2 o'clock in the morning because 9 times out of 10, you know your opponent sleeps at that time, said the Detroit, Michigan native. Not that Martin specifically needed to train in those hours, but rather, as he explained it, doing it would give him a mental edge over his opponent, as these are the little things that make a big difference in the end. Martin emphasized that it's nothing that he didn't know or was a big deal, but coming from someone like Floyd, who has been at the highest point in the sport, 10. We know your opponents sleep at that time, so go run at 2 o'clock in the morning and go get yourself a mental edge, because you know you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running, that you are going to take a lot of head to it. And it's going to give you a different type of motivation when you do it, said Martin. He also added that even when Floyd shows something, a boxer might not be able to mimic it perfectly, but it'll give you a different type of feel about yourself. Interestingly, that's exactly what Mike Tyson used to do before his fights to gain a mental edge over his opponents. No wonder he became the youngest heavyweight champion and later an undisputed champion. Running at 3 in the morning and chopping wood are just a few of the things Mike Tyson would do to gain an edge over his opponents. However, neither Tyson's training ritual nor Floyd's advice were able to stop Davis from doing what he planned to do on fight night. Davis, who was coming off a year-long layoff because of the hit-and-run case he was involved in 2022 and spent 90 days in Baltimore prison, came out on top on fight night with an 8th-round knockout. The claims on X that your fight was canceled the last couple of weeks. He the one told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock. The gap in his resume didn't dull his skills in the ring. Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in his last outing in April last year and finished off with a similar result against Frank Martin. In fact, leading up to Davis's fight against Frank Martin, Mayweather urged his fans to watch UFC instead after the two traded shots at each other on social media. Famous boxing reporter Michael Benson posted Fred. He told Frank he was give Frank's, really, how do you know that this word of I say? Floyd Mayweather and Davis continuing their feud as Mayweather trolls Tank by posting that the Frank Martin fight has been canceled, and Tank responds, keep talking and I'll pull up to your house and lay hands on you. Davis went on to knock out Martin in brutal fashion on Saturday, and in an interview after the fight, the boxing superstar revealed that Mayweather had tried to give his opponent tips on how to beat him. He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that, but I know for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool, it's all right, I don't really think too much of it. He's not going to hurt me, you know what I mean? It's better to beef with him than to be cool with him, I said as while I was, oh really? So they were like spying her, kind of. No, he got a club, you know. Floyd Mayweather was the one who told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock. Gervonta Davis, at some point, Gervonta Davis had expressed his willingness to deal with Floyd Mayweather in the ring, including his name among his contemporaries. Speaking to Davis, Najee from Cigar Talk broached the vibe with Mayweather, which prompted a profound response from the Baltimore native. A lot of people don't know what Floyd does. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me, and that's why I went to him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd, said Davis, referring to Mayweather's initial comment that he thought was directed at him. I knew for sure. That was when Najee pointed out that over the years, Davis and Floyd's dynamic seemed like a love-hate relationship. Davis completely denied it while claiming he had surpassed Floyd's legacy. I'm about at that point where I've passed him, and I am doing it at a young age, said Tank. However, Davis wasn't done proving his point as he elaborated, revealing a new deal he had signed. According to several reports, Mayweather's deal with Showtime in 2013 was worth $200 million. That deal I'm talking about, he doesn't know about that yet. That's bigger than his deal, said the lightweight champion. However, Davis did not reveal the amount of the mega deal he signed with PBC. He didn't care to elaborate on that. Out of the sport after that second fight, and I'm a win bro. Nah, I could tell you my fights. As a result, many expected him to lay out a plan for a more productive 2025, more fights, activity, and hopefully some big